These are all the parts that you're going to need to make this design. Make sure you have everything cut out first. One of the templates you actually need to cut out twice in order to have sufficient parts, so make sure you follow the instructions. You need your two main sections here, which actually make up the main structure of the vase of daffodils. If possible, I would make sure these two sections are cut from fairly strong card, because they're going to have to hold the whole structure in place. You then need two of these sections of daffodils that actually have 3 slots at the bottom and 2 slots at the top, and then two of these sections which are the opposite and have 2 slots at the bottom and 3 slots at the top. I would cut all of these out first, either using the coloured template or using coloured card, and make sure that you've then put your daffodils on either side here to make it look as good as possible. You then have these 4 sections which actually form the top of the vase, and then you have these 8 sections that form the base of the vase. We're going to start by taking the 2 main sections. This has a huge slot that goes right up the centre here, and this has a huge slot that goes right down the centre here. We're actually just going to slot these together. And there we already have the start of our vase. We're then going to take 2 sections with a single slot at the bottom, and we're looking for this section here that's got 2 slots quite close to the centre here, and we're going to slot these in between the daffodils and over those sections. The same on this side. Right, we now have 3 going in one direction and 1 going in the opposite direction. On here we now have a slot at the top here, a slot at the bottom here, and a slot at the top here. This is where we're going to weave these 3 parts here. Try and ignore the outside slots for now and just focus on the 3 inner parts. So we're going to weave this one over this section here, and then under the centre section. Again, don't worry about bending it, it is just card, and then over the end section. If you think it's a little screwed up, fold it flat and unfold it, and it pushes everything into place for you. Right? We're then going to do exactly the same on the other side. I'm going to put this part over the slot here, underneath the centre section, without getting my daffodils all caught up. Oops. And then over the other side of it. And again, I'm going to fold them flat to make sure it's in place. And fold flat in the opposite direction, and that honestly just helps push everything into place. The reason that can be a little bit complicated is because there is so many daffodils and they all get caught up with each other, and I thought about pruning it and having less daffodils, but I didn't think they then had the same effect, so I've left it just like that. Now as you can see, that's a 160 gram card, and that's still standing on its own, so it is possible for you to use thin card and get away with this design quite easily. For the base, you need these 8 sections here. If you look carefully, 4 are slightly larger than the other 4, and 2 have a single slot bottom centre and 2 have a single slot top centre. We're going to start with these 2 with a single slot top centre, and we're going to put them either side of the slots closest to this middle section here. I actually put these in from the bottom. Just slot that one up there, and this one up this side. Oops, caught the back. Right, so we have 3 going from front to back and 1 going side to side. We now take these sections and we're going to add them on, one at the front here, one at the back here, using the slots that are closest to the inside of the vase, not the slots that are at the edge of the vase. So if I open this up, you can see there's a slot at the bottom here at the top here and at the bottom on this side. This is where we're going to put these 3 slots here, and we're going to weave them into that section. I'm just going to put it over the middle one, and then I'm just going to fold it under at either side. Like so, and then do exactly the same around the other side. I'm going to put it over the middle, and then I'm going to fold it under at either side. Okay, there we have the first layer of the base added. The second layer is just going to go on in exactly the same way. So I look for ones that's got a centre hole at the top here, and this will be with a centre hole at the bottom on these pieces go. So I just put that over at the middle and under either side. And do the same on the reverse here, over at the middle, under either side. And for the last 2 parts on here, they'll do exactly the same, except they'll go under the middle, over at either side, but there's 2 extra wee slots that will fold over the 2 parts that we just added. So I'm just going to do that just now. I'm going to actually do that by folding this flat a little bit and then just weaving this one into place, under, over, under, over, and under the last part there, and flip it over and do exactly the same on the other side, under. Sometimes it's easier to build things when they're flat, especially if you, like me, and you only have one set of hands. And over and under. That's the base made. The 4 parts that just form the top of the vase are exactly the same. Look for parts with the centre slot in the middle, and look for the sections in the middle of the flowers that has a centre slot in the middle. Put that over that slot, under either side, do exactly the same on the opposite, over in the middle, under either side. And then the last 2 parts that you add are the opposite, so they go up through the middle, over either side, and where the edges of this overlap on the edges you just put on, you slot them into position as well. Under at the middle, over and under, over at this side, and under the other part we just added on. The same at this side. Up at the middle. Over one side and under other top part of the vase. Over the daffodils at this side and under the top part of the vase. And there we have the vase of daffodils that fold perfectly flat.